The Joya-e Service is held at all temples on New Year's Eve to express gratitude for the past year and to reflect on the interdependency of all life, and then on all things that have made it possible for one to live through the year. On New Year's Eve, many temples in Japan start ringing the bell, bonsho in Japanese, around 11 p.m. Then ring the bell 108 times throughout the night. They ring the bell 107 times before midnight for the old year. And then the one last ring, the 108th after midnight, which is on the new year. At many temples, including my home temple in Japan, more than 108 people come waiting to ring the bell. So it is not easy to ring exactly 108 times. The many temples will ring the bell more than 108 times. So I want to show a very short video of bonsho, the ringing the bell at my home temple. This is not the New Year's Eve bell ringing. This is one of the daily bell rings. Every evening, the temple rings the bell 10 times, only 10 times. This is the one when we visited with my children. They have fun ringing the bell and helping out with the temple work. The walking at the temple can actually be fun sometimes. So I'm gonna show the video. Hold on a second. The very short one. Oh. Hold on a second. 音声とビデオと、これで、これか。はい。はい。This is it. So I just wanted to show the actual bell ringing thing. So this is they are my kids and then their cousins. So obviously they are having a fun time. And then that the boys say hi, which is my father's voice. So each time my father said hi, and then they can ring the bell each time when he said hi. So it's just a very fun time for them. So, okay. So there are only 10 days left in the year 2020. So how was your 2020? How do you explain this year? Perhaps 100% of us, when talking about the year 2020, bring up COVID-19. In the US alone, over 320,000 people have died of COVID this year, a single year. This number is more than the number of Americans killed in World War II. World War II was 6 years long. It is a half number of people killed in the Civil War, which was 4 years long. This month, more than 3,000 people died in single day, just in the US. It works out to about 125 deaths per hour in this country. In entire world, 1.7 million people have died of COVID. So many people lost family, friends, and then loved ones this year, this single year. More than more than 17 million cases just in this country, and in 75 million cases in the entire world. Many people are suffering from very hard symptoms and pain related to COVID every day. Millions and millions of people have lost jobs. Many do not have money to pay for food, clothes, or place to stay. With no money to pay tuition, many students have had to give up their colleges and their careers. Behind every one of these numbers are families, relatives, and friends who are also greatly affected. Our hearts go out to all of those affected. Think back to last year. What did you think? What did you do on New Year's Day 2020? Did anybody guess that this incredibly scary virus was coming? That would hit the entire world and then turn it upside down? I'm guessing no. None of us can see into the future. Not a day, not a week, not 2 to 3 months. We definitely are all ignorant in a way. My sister is an ICU nurse in New York. She told me, I wanted to become a nurse to help people, but I never thought I would have to fight something like this. Every single day, I feel like I'm a soldier in a battleground. I'm so incredibly glad to hear that she might be able to get the vaccination very soon. But so many healthcare workers like her have been diagnosed with COVID and then suffering or have lost their lives. Another big challenge for all of us was isolation. We have not been able to see people or go out or travel or go out to dinner or to the movie or to do sports. We have all had to be patient this year and give up much of what is fun in life. Throughout most of 2020, COVID has generated anxiety and fear in everyone. The history of a Buddhist sect, Jodo Shinshu, is also tied pandemic and disasters. In both the 12th century, the time of our founder Shinran Shonin, and in the 15th century, the time of 8th head minister Honganji, Rennyo Shonin, the people in Japan had lived through extremely difficult times. Hundreds of thousands people died from famine and epidemics. There were also many wars that which claimed the lives of many ordinary people. Today, I'd like to read two quotes from Shinran Shonin and Rennyo Shonin. The first one is a letter from Shinran Shonin to one of his disciples, Joshinbo. The Shinran Shonin was 88 at the time of this letter. It is saddening that so many people, both young and old, men and women, have died this year and the last. But the Tathagata taught the truth of life is impermanence for us fully. So you must not be distressed by it. The first Shinran Shonin stated was really sad. In this word, we can see the Shinran Shonin gently share the sadness of those who have had said farewell. And he goes on to say that must be the distressed by it, because the Buddha has already explained that impermanence of life, that life always leads to death. The second letter is from Rennyo Shonin to his followers when he was 78. Recently, people have been dying in great numbers due to the epidemic. The epidemic isn't the primary reason they die. our fate is known at birth. We should not be so surprised by death. And yet, when people die at a time like this, everyone naturally thinks, oh, they died from the epidemic. He goes on to say, Amida Tathagata has declared that he will unfailingly save those sentient beings who single-hearted rely on him. Ordinary being in the last Dharma age and people like ourselves burned with evil karma, however deep the evil may be. Once we have understood this, our saying Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, sleeping or waking, is an expression of gratitude, conveying our joy and thankfulness that Amida saves us in this way. This, in other words, in the name is Nembutsu of gratitude for the Buddha's benevolence. Amida Buddha's primary vow is people exactly like us, people who cannot realize wisdom and compassion, ignorant, foolish being, Bonbu. As soon as we are born into the world, we are guaranteed to die. But we don't want to recognize this truth most of the time. It's easy to get scared thinking about it, so ignore it. Amida Buddha has never stopped calling us. Amida Buddha declared that he will always save those sentient ordinary beings, people like ourselves, burdened with fear and nervousness. We all will need to keep listening to the Buddha's teaching, especially now in this difficult situation. We need to be caring and compassionate toward one another, just like it says in the chain of love. Wearing a mask that makes us the part of the chain of love. Some people don't like wearing masks. They don't think they will get the virus. Or if they get it, they don't think they will feel sick, let alone die. Even so, they could carry the virus and pass it to others. But they don't care about others. They don't understand the idea that all human beings will die, and we won't know when. It could be today or tomorrow, just as the Buddha said. When you start listening to the teaching and then following in the daily life, here is another quote I really like. It helps me most time when I know my life is limited and unsure. And this is a great to listen and think when we think about the New Year's resolution. There are also the words Renno Shonin. Over and over, Renyo would say, realizing that we are foolish beings, listen to the Dharma. We must also realize that everything we do is truly unwise. Bear in mind to never be careless with anything you do. Also, Renyo would say, according to the Dharma, there is no tomorrow, always hurry. Another quote, believe there is not this very day. Renyo had said that we must accomplish things at once, and he declared procrastination. Sorry, it's hard to see. He would, in according with the Buddha Dharma, be pleased with getting things done without putting them off for the following day. Finally, I would like to say thank you to all our members, friends, and supporters for this Sangha. When the pandemic started, we had to cancel everything, including our services, we realized we couldn't get together anymore. When Todd came up with the idea of doing online Zoom live services, I had no idea what that would be like. I was concerned about how the attendances can feel connected to each other if all we are doing is logging into service like this. But on every single session, we saw more attendees, more new faces, and more access from outside of Minnesota. It encouraged me so much. I was able to see that this community of Buddha's teaching has been growing so much because of every single of you. I moved my discussion group online as well. That also works very well to see more new people having a chance to listen to the Dharma and sharing our thought from Minnesota, outside of Minnesota, and then from Japan also. Renyo Shonin is head of our Mother Temple Honganji minister that is thought of as the innovator of Jodo Shinsho sect. He discovered a way to spread Buddha's teaching throughout Japan in the 15th century. So Renyo gave this organized Jodo Shinshu movement consistent structure. He translated the Shinran's teaching into simpler language. He is credited with bringing Jodo Shinshu teaching to wider audience through his letters, which provide accessible, clear explanation of Jodo Shinshu doctrine in comparison to Shinran's writing, which is used to classical Chinese. The Renyo Shonin also maintained systematic network and gathering system called Ko, or small Sangha. So that Ko is writing like this in Japanese, Ko. So they were in convenient locations for followers. That this allowed people to meet and listen to the teaching frequently. His letters broke down Shinran's teaching into simple language so that just by reading his letter together, the followers could learn the teaching. Lay follower group that sympathized with Renyo's enthusiastic mission work spread to the wider areas. In digital generation, I think we can call ourselves innovators of Buddha's teaching. Digital technology has created the new system of spreading teaching, and then especially so this year. All of you attending the Zoom sessions have helped create a new system to spreading teaching. And there is a core of Jodo Shinshu practice, the spreading Dharma, spreading Buddha's teaching by the Sangha community. We will come to the time when we able to meet each other in person again and then see each other face to face. Even kids miss the services, mostly because they miss the sweets and the tasty food. We have to be patient for another half year or a year. And when we restore in-person service, we continue the online live streaming as well. Again, thank you for your support for helping us to make the digital Sangha services a huge success. The Shinran Shonin's another letter also said, may there be peace in the world, and then may Buddha's teaching spread. So in closing, I will read another half of the reading, the working of Amida's great wisdom and compassion. Please join me, Gasho. Sustained by great compassion of Tathagata, my life is filled with independence, gratitude, and joy, enabling me to intone Namo Amida Butsu as I follow the path leading me to the truth. When my life in this world come to the end, and attain birth in Amida's Pure Land. I will receive the wisdom and the Buddhahood, and shall guide others to the same enlightenment. May we together enjoy, share the teaching of Jodo Shinshu that Shinran Shonin, the founder, elucidated for us as the truth of the Tathagatas. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.